Today we're going to be spectating a top 500 one above all Psylocke player to see what they do better and how we can improve together. So this guy's going to be called GSR for the sake of this video, just because he's got a bunch of numbers and letters in his name and we want to make this as easy as possible. With Psylocke, it's super important to make sure you get your combos down correctly, especially with the dashes. The invisible portion is something that I do want to see how this player actually does use, because that's something I feel people don't use correctly when they're playing Psylocke. So let's see how he does it. So he's got a good flank on the enemy team at the moment. He could have almost taken out that Winter Soldier, but the Wolverine actually managed to grab him there, which is a bit unfortunate. Psylocke doesn't have the highest HP. She is squishy, by the way, so obviously any of these crazy combos that you learn with other characters will take her out. So you do need to be wary of that, but she does gain over health doing certain abilities there, so do keep that in mind, mainly to do with her shurikens when you recall them. So as you can see, she's using the dash to get up into the air, and she's staying at a really good flank angle right here. Now obviously he has the invisible ability to escape. As you can see, they're using it now to reposition. And the good thing is that the primary attack for Psylocke actually does decent damage at range as well. So all you need to do is just kind of spam damage at range. When you're ready to pull off your flank, you can do that once you have your cooldowns available. So you don't really ever need to kind of leave the fight with Psylocke because the range is so good. Almost took out the invisible woman there. Now this is where Psylocke's pretty decent, getting back into the fight, double dash, using all the abilities. Obviously you don't want to go too crazy with it. Using your primary does reset your shuriken, by the way, if you didn't already know that. And if you want a full guide on how the shurikens actually work, we've got that linked at the end of this video once you finish watching it. Now, what is good about this player in particular and what they're doing is holding very good off angles behind the enemy team. They're playing as a flanker, essentially. That is exactly what they're doing here. And they're using the dashes to reposition well. So one dash got her up into the air, and now she's using her ultimate behind the enemy team. So as you can see here, Magneto's trying to shield that. And I think that was the enemy Doctor Strange. I'm not quite sure. But now it's a 1v1 and Psylocke should win this every day of the week. Or not. I think that Invisible Woman got backed up by the Doctor Strange there. So that's kind of showing you how good peeling works when you're playing in these kind of high level games, or just any level games you want to peel for your team. So as you can see, using the combos with the shuriken, mixing that in, using the dashes when she is close range. So if there's a dash available now, you can use it. What I'd be very interested to know, and I'm not 100% sure, but for the most part I do think abilities like this do work. So if she does dash, does it go through a Magneto shield? But I think it does. So as you can see, got a good position on the enemy team here, and again, because her abilities are decent at range, especially the primary attack, you can still use that. She managed to actually get up there with the rocket. Fighting on Star-Lord's tough. Star-Lord outputs a lot of DPS, to be honest. But the movement here is really good, to be honest. Like, I think the movement is the most important thing with Psylocke, as well as positioning. And again, right behind the enemy team here, holding this off angle, a really good one actually. It's not one that I've actually thought to use. And again, going invisible, going to be behind the enemy team once again. Use the ultimate, got a pick, got the Star-Lord low, and the Star-Lord is now finished by the teammates. So that was a really good ultimate use. I think maybe popped it a bit too early, but obviously you don't want to get caught out and not use it at all, so that's another thing. So against Magneto, it's a bit of a tough fight there because Psylocke's primary ability is a projectile and so is the shurikens as well. So is she looking for like a Spider-Man or something? I'm not really too sure what she was looking out for there. Oh, it's the Wolverine. She could hear the footsteps, but she couldn't see where he was coming from. This is the good thing with what she's doing with Wolverine, is keeping the distance away, because you don't want to be up close and personal with Wolverine. If you get stolen, then that's not going to be ideal whatsoever for your team. The opposite team, Invisible Woman ulted there, but it actually didn't amount to much. Got the Wolverine as well. They're really sticking quite close together. When it comes to the important part, she does then regroup with her team. So it's good to see. Like I said, positioning is super important here. And the off angles is crazy, man. Like, the flank angles are really, really good here. It's not like she's flanking like right to the back of the enemy team. It's like a really narrow angle where she stays alive, but can fire the primary down that range. Now she's went invisible to kind of counter the Star-Lord ultimate. Gets bubbled by Magneto, which helps her even more. And I really don't see her using the dash to actually initiate fights, which I would have expected, to be honest. Gets a pick on the ultimate again. And like I said, it's quite interesting to me that she's not dashing through players. Like, it'd be interesting to see if that gets used in the second round. But again, keeping that distance against the Wolverine, which is super important. Not gained too many headshots from the looks of it. So even though Psylocke can headshot, and that is where pretty much most of our damage potential actually comes from, to be honest with you, she's not really got a lot of headshots, even at such a high level. This is a top 500 player. Now that we're halfway through this video, if you are enjoying it, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, as we like spectating high level players and low level players. And in the case for Psylocke here, I think it's super important to learn positioning, because that is what sets out the kind of low skilled Psylocke players to the high skilled Psylocke players. Let's get straight back into it. Getting back into it now, as you can see, we're holding another off angle with Psylocke. It'll be quite interesting to see if they mix it up and use the dashes as like a damage ability, which they didn't really use in the first half of this game, to be honest. Now, you don't always have to do that, but it's just interesting to see kind of the different kinds of playstyles you can get using these heroes and what all their abilities are all about. So they purposely shot the wall there to kind of break the cover. And this Wolverine's obviously trying to flank as well, because Wolverine has to do that to kind of get to the tanks. And that's why you see the Psylocke kind of coming up against a Wolverine very often, because they're both trying to flank at the exact same time. And 9 times out of 10, Psylocke's going to come out better off in that fight, because she's got the ranged attacks as well, whereas Wolverine can't fight out of range. So that's kind of like a cool thing to keep in mind when you know that the enemy team's got some other flankers on the team, or the enemy team has flankers, like I mentioned. Again, keeping distance here, trying to get to better parts of high ground and things like that, and just using the primary constantly. The primary's super strong, man. It does do a lot of pick damage. If you're at close range, it's doing a lot more damage because of the way the spread works. Long range does slightly less damage. Obviously, like I said, you're landing less shots on the spread of the actual attack. Comboing in the shurikens as well there, which you can do as often almost as you want. Got a huge back angle on this Doctor Strange. He's basically just taking damage and didn't even know where from. Got ultimate built up here. Not going to pop the ultimate yet because it's kind of a waste at this moment in time, because our teammates are not there to capitalize on it. So no wastage in ultimate here. Just holding this really good position for when our team does come back. She's right in behind enemy team, and now she's going to flank. So she's waiting. Now that the fight's initiated, she can now jump in and pop the ultimate whenever she's ready. Now she's taking out the Loki clones, and she's right behind this storm. And she had an invisible to kind of get out of there. And I think she's just causing a distraction and pulling the enemy team back towards her. So kind of what happened here was her team was pushing from that side, and basically she distracted 2 of the enemy players. And as they did that, they had to come back to help, right? So as they came back to help, they gave up the frontline position where they were fighting her teammates, and they lost all that gain in ground that they kind of made up and thought they had made. So that was an insanely good flank, even though she didn't really do too much there, besides kind of pop her ultimate. But that play was only made because she had her ultimate, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. So you need to kind of think, and if she had popped the ultimate straight away on the point, and this is something that you need to try and do, is try to hold off and use your ultimate at the correct time and not always just use it whenever you want to. So again, off angle here, she's got all of her cooldowns. Wolverine's going to destroy her here, I think, to be honest. But like I said, the flank that she did before that was insane. Again, now she's going to play for the range because she's in with her team until she can get a good flank angle. And then she might kind of do the similar thing because she's almost built up her ultimate all over again. And that's the main thing you want to do, is keep doing damage, keep trying to build up your ultimate and keep playing for it. Because now she can pull off this insane flank. She could pop her ultimate here if she wanted to. And maybe she's waiting for a slightly better opportunity to do that. Obviously, she got a double dashes here, but she died. She could have popped the ultimate, to be honest, but I think she was kind of holding it for a slightly better push. So now we're just dealing damage. Try to take out the Loki poles or totems or whatever they're called. You popped ultimate. And the enemy team popped ultimate as well. I don't think she got any kills besides on the Loki clones. She can hear someone. Oh, it's an invisible woman or something like that, I think. That's something you can do. I mean, it's not like you run out of ammo in this game. I mean, you do need to reload. That was an insanely quick kill. Insanely quick. Like, against squishy targets, Psylocke destroys them, man. Like, literally destroys. Even if you just primary fire only and you don't have your combos available. She's gonna go for the... I mean, she probably should have went for the Luna there, if I'm being honest. But the Luna does pop an ultimate. She's now keeping her distance because obviously there's dive heroes in the game now. Psylocke's not much of an anti-dive. As much as you can kind of kill them. This is where she excels, man. Dashes through the Luna. And the thing is, I think she dashed through the Luna on purpose at that point because you want to get her out super quick. You don't want to get frozen by the Luna either. And she's using the dash only on squishy characters from the looks of it. So that's something that I didn't think we would see in this game because they didn't use it at all. But it seems as if the dash is only useful against squishy targets. And she's used it twice at the end of this game. So there we have it. That is our guy GSR, a top 500 Psylocke player who holds off angles extremely well, has perfect timing when it comes to ultimate usage, and also knows when and when not to use certain abilities when it comes to using Psylocke. If you learned something new and you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like, and thank you very much for watching.